There's a moment every revenue leader remembers. The moment you knew something was wrong, but you didn't act. Not because you didn't see it, not even because you don't have the necessary experience, but because that experience told you it would disrupt something. A person, a process, your comfort. This episode is about that exact moment. And if you're already thinking of one, yes, that one, you already know what's coming. Most leaders don't fail because they're unaware. They fail because they delayed the decisions they already know. Delay, delay, delay. We tell ourselves we need more data, more time, one more meeting, just one. Which is interesting, right? Because when something is actually unclear, it doesn't really feel like this. It feels different, grabs you different. Slightly annoying? It's like something you just keep bumping into mentally over and over again, but you pretend it's not happening. That is not confusion, my friends. That is resistance at the core. And look, sometimes waiting, it is the right call. It is. But let's be honest. There's a difference between I'll come back to this later and I don't want to touch that. One is strategic. The other is avoidance with the calendar invite. And let's face it, you've sent many. For context, I'm April. I work with founders and revenue leaders when their systems look fine on the surface, or should I say publicly, but under the hood, truth is hidden and things are quietly misaligned. This usually means everyone's being very polite. Some might even say awkwardly polite, if you will. And nothing important is being addressed. We're back to the moment of knowing something is wrong, but literally not acting on it. And I get it. Leaders hesitate for obvious reasons. Acting out of failed truth, it'll cost us political capital. And who wants that? We know it's politics, just can't get away from it, right? Truth just makes things awkward. It makes people feel awkward. The space is awkward. Clarity, though, on the other hand, it removes plausible deniability. Think about it. It's way easier to say, let's monitor this, than it is to say, this isn't working, while we look at each other around the room or in our video meeting. Do you ever think to yourself, why is it easier to protect a person than it is to confront a pattern, especially when patterns are everywhere? And there is the quiet part. The more senior you are, the more expensive honesty becomes. Think about this, but don't say it out loud yet. What has acting on something that you know deep down is wrong cost you? Would you do it again? The hesitation starts to look like professionalism without you even realizing what you're becoming a part of. But here's the trade-off that no one talks about. Every time you delay that decision that you know is necessary, you teach the system that truth is optional, and we know it's not. When we do this, the system learns fast. Too fast, even. Look at AI, literally. What can AI not do? Hesitation doesn't stay contained. It can't. It spreads, and it spreads rapidly, because what needs a Band-Aid today, well, you can wrap it up tomorrow. You see, when forecasts become aspirational, reps, they manage optics, not reality. And reality is different for everyone. Meetings, they begin to multiply, meeting after meeting after meeting. But the decisions, they don't. One might even say they become minute. And leaders, let's talk about leaders. They just stop trusting the numbers and in return you altogether and don't tell you. This usually will show up as a rep that everyone knows isn't going to make it, but no one says it out loud. Instead, we look at each other, pondering, how is that meeting going to go? While asking for an update afterward. Eventually, you're not even running a revenue system. You're managing a performance. Everyone feels it. No one names it. Ta-da! The organization slowly agrees to pretend. This, literally, at my core, is so exhausting. Governance isn't control. It's alignment between what we know, what we say, and what we do. Governed revenue doesn't rely on optimism. And don't get me wrong, optimism does have a place. But governed revenue is not it. Instead, it relies on clarity along with follow-through. And follow-through is where reward begins. Think about it for a second. A governor doesn't wait for permission to act on truth. They act because not acting creates an even bigger problem. And who in the world wants to deal with that problem? Yes, sometimes that does mean that you're unpopular. But do we really care about popularity in a society where your image is literally everything if you make it? That's a joke, people. That's a joke. Come on, come on. That's literally your job, your territory. If this resonated, it's not because you learned something new today. It's because you recognize something familiar. Arbiter exists because leaders don't fail from ignorance. They fail from hesitation after truth. Remember, follow through is where reward begins. This show is where we stop pretending that pause is neutral.